Alright, so today I'm going to be replacing this guy here with this guy here and slapping on a KWIKSET convert to the back to make it Zwave Plus compatible and add to Hubitat or Smartthings. So let's get to it. So I originally tried to do this just with the KWIKSET convert. And this is the weirdest Weiser KWIKSET lock I've ever seen, where it's like these two tail pieces don't line up when you take out, when I show you when I take it out. Normally it just goes right through in a single tail piece, but this one's kind of offset. So there was really no out of the box way I could figure it out. And the way that I'm gonna do it is fortunate and unfortunate. I can't reuse this front part, which is really nice and sleek looking and matches this, but I'll try to get it pretty close with this lock over here. Won't use the keypad too much. Probably will set the code to something obscure, and actually no, I'll probably set it to something meaningful just in case, but then mainly just to use on your phone, because once the back of it's put on, you can just open it from your phone, and it's the Zwave Plus with the enhanced security for the locks, so there's less of that going around with the dolphin or whatever and just open people's doors and stuff like that. Whole epidemic, it's the same epidemic, I think it's called the dolphin, with the RFIDs and getting into cars and all that stuff. But yeah, so let's get started by taking out this lock and then putting these two things on. This is what I was kind of talking about, right? With the, can't really see, but how it goes like that. Instead of just one tail piece, it's like a double tail. One goes in here. It's kind of like to get an offset thing if you want something that, instead of being like lined up square with it, if you wanted it offset as a way of, I don't know. Aesthetics are definitely difficult, especially if you want to conform to some kind of standard. I get it, but, I've set up a lot of these KWIKSET Weiser locks, at two different houses I have, and also for friends and family and clients of mine to just install some smart home stuff in a one-off situation, and never have I dealt with that kind of stuff. I'm sure locksmiths and all those people out there, they probably deal with this stuff all the time. At kind of risk, because you gotta actually finish the job before you go anywhere, because your front door is kind of wide open. So I should also mention that I don't know if this is possible, and I didn't look it up online to see if anyone has made this particular KWIKSET Weiser hamburger, because what you want to do, what they intend you to do, is take the back plate that comes with this and go through and Bob's your uncle, right? But I'm going to take the back plate, instead of this back plate, I'm going to take the back plate off of the KWIKSET convert, which is the one that has the Zwave Plus with the Home Connect, which is this guy right here. So very similar. Now the KWIKSET convert, it has different kind of female receiving receptacles for the tailpiece. So this one obviously won't work, or I think it goes one layer extra, but I do have to look at the manual to swap out the female receiving part here. So one thing I just realized is that I will not be able to use the keypad in this particular, hamburger of lock parts, because this part, when it goes through this, doesn't actually terminate somewhere in here. So this is basically, hey, I want to make my lock smart without the appearance of something like a keypad at the front. So that's fine with me if it just is like a lock, and I just have to make sure that this wire doesn't get pinched in the event that we repurpose it, sell it, give it to charity or something, if we ever, move or anything like that. I'm a bit of a hoarder with this stuff because I like to give everything factory fresh if I end up changing it out or whatnot. So basically this part here, which is a floppy flat, no, it's not a floppy, it's a hard flat tailpiece, will not kind of go in here, so I do have to swap that out right now. And pretty awesome manual. You can see that what I'm normally used to dealing with is this D shape, and this one has this vertical rectangle or horizontal rectangle, I'm not sure. And I might have to change out that specific item in there, which is the actual deadbolt part, because that might be the D one. So I might have to swap that out. They do include other ones, I believe. Okay, so I do have a D, as you can clearly see. Now the KWIKSET convert does not come with different latches or deadbolts, whatever that part in the middle is called. Every time I get some terminology wrong, there's some locksmith or some home like handyman that in the comment just cringes at my terminology. But anyhow, bear with me if you can. You know, I'm not an expert. I just do anything around the house I can, like any kind of good husband probably should. So what I have to essentially do is grab the deadbolt that came with this one from the packaging and then swap out the existing doors one. So that's the D piece, right? Then we're going to put in this one here that there's like two settings. One will fit to the middle of your circle, right? And one won't. If your circle's like here, it'll be like coming through like that. You know it's not in the middle. So then you want to twist it and then it should be in the middle. So you see how it says up? That means that you would flip it around and put it in like that, right? Because you always follow, you know, ups and downs and any kind of letters on it. Make sure you're doing it right. As you can see, this is like too far, so I thought it would be the one that's expanded. But let me try to flip it and see if it's better. The up wasn't the right way. Yeah, it fits pretty well. It seems to stick out just as much as from the manufacturer as this one. I don't want to get too aggressive with the drill in and kind of making it clean until I know that this configuration will work. Kind of a personal preference, but I'm going to use the original screws from that I just took out from here, just so the hole's not getting any additional threading it didn't have before. Now, a couple things to take note, like you have the existing, I guess the, you know, whatever the dust and debris and how hard it was twisted in around the edge to contend with. Sometimes that'll be permanent. So if you're going to replace it, just make sure that you have something bigger. And then after you replace that, replace with something bigger as well, because you probably don't want to have all these lines unless you want to paint your door. Next up, you want to probably see if your little dilly can fit right through here. And then when you turn it, to see if it just kind of turns the, you know, this thing will pop out. So far so good, and it looks pretty clean considering these aren't, as far as I'm aware, from the same product line. These ones don't go with this, but you know, modern square lines, you know, pretty lucky, looks good. So I know it's a little hard to see and I apologize, but I used the black KWIKSET backing that came with the KWIKSET convert. Then I used the two screws that came with the black backing, but that came with the actual keypad assembly. Tailpiece fits through there, and then the little tiny wire to connect, I just tucked that away inside, make sure it was not pinched. I didn't tighten it down all the way, but it is, you know, holding the front keypad on. Okay, so all good. I had to use the tailpiece that is the, the flat tailpiece. In the instructions it says Baldwin, even though it's a Weiser KWIKSET kind of tailpiece. Maybe that's just a more common lock company that has it, or the people that made that type of a tailpiece. But it wasn't retracting all the way, so when I just turned it with my hand, and I thought, okay, obviously there's no tailpiece. And then I completely forgot, because I've installed a bunch of these before, is when you put in the batteries, when you program, before the batteries are in, you have to, actually I can show you the process. You have to make sure this is fully out, okay? And then you hold down, and you see how it beeped because there's still a little residual power in there. You hold it down, this one here, then you put the batteries in while holding, and it will do the program option. And then if it flashes green after, that's when you know it was successful. If it flashes red, they have steps in the instructions for what to do next. But don't get discouraged if it doesn't come out or go in all the way when you just turn this manually, because when you program it, it's kind of like a garage door. It'll do the both extremes of both sides and check the force of it to see like what the extent it needs to fully retract and fully push it through. So don't use this as like before you put in the batteries and program it as your, is it working? So this is kind of good to go if I manually do this now, but that wasn't going in all the way until I programmed it, if that makes sense. And now it's all good. So now I can just put the back plate on, but first obviously I'm going to pair it with Smartthings. So as you can see, what you want to do is put your smart home hub, whether Hubitat or Smartthings or Wink or whatever Zwave Plus compatible hub you have, into pairing mode, and then you're going to press the A button. So let's do that. So it's kind of like, why is there two, right? So I just wanted to verify that, okay, two actually exist, or did it create a duplicate? So I renamed the one to the front door lock, and then I proceeded to just double check. And there was in fact only one, so it seems like a bit of a weird artifact of the pairing. So when I pressed the button on the app there, it did, you have to take my word for it. I don't have two phones I'm filming with. It did open and close it. So next up is just to put on the top bracket. All right, so basically the one screw, like, at there's one here, and then there's the fat ones that go at the bottom. And then, I don't know if there's a different way you can have it pointing a different, you know how every time you go to someone else's house and the way that it points doesn't feel natural to, like, I don't know, what you think would be natural. But yeah, either way, this works now. Hope you guys enjoyed that how-to video on how to set up a KWIKSET or Weiser Zwave Plus convert with a keypad in the front. The keypad doesn't work, but in this case, it's a way that I was able to escape. In this way, I was able to escape the clutches of the, I don't know, double tail piece, design choice or whatever. It was rare to me, maybe not rare to others. However, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and it helps me do other videos like this in the future. And thank you very much, and have a great day.